into the arena. Every band who have played here today, the mass, pipes and drums. What about that, ladies and gentlemen? A wonderful sound. Bonnie Dundee was the tune of the massed bands. And it's traditional at all Highland Games to have a chieftain for the day. And I'd like to invite today's chieftain forward to take the salute, Mr. Jack Herring. Pipes and drums, if you would care to play Highland Laddie once through. Thank you, Pipe Major.
Brass bands at the hook! Drums, roll off!
Thank you, pipers and drummers. Thank you, Chieftain. Okay, we're going to go ahead with the results now from today. So some of you I know have been listening all afternoon to the competition, all grades here today, and we had many bands here yesterday also. It's been a fantastic feast of piping and drumming over both days. So we'll go through the results now, starting with grade 5. 2 bands took part in that for a set of quick marches. Second place, the Elliott Bay Pipe Band. And in first place, the Northwest Junior Grade 5 Pipe Band. I know this weekend is one of their first times out, and sounding great. Excellent stuff. And the best drum corps in Grade 5 also goes to the Northwest Junior 5 Pipe Band. And there is an aggregate for both days for Grade 5. Again, the best overall band in Grade 5, the Northwest Junior 5, and the overall best drum corps, also the Northwest Junior 5 Pipe Band. Well done to them. And I know the band and the whole, both grades of band are heading to Scotland, and certainly some of them are competing in the World Championships coming up in just a few weeks' time. So all the best to them for that. A great experience, I know. The March to Spare and Reel now for Grade 4. Fourth place goes to the Robert Malcolm Memorial Grade 4 Pipe Band. Third place to Cascadia 4 Pipe Band. Second place to the Portland Metro Youth Pipe Band. And it's been a great weekend for these guys. First place, once again, the Northwest Junior Pipe Band. And they also won the best drum corps, the Northwest Junior Pipe Band. So the games aggregate from both days, the Northwest Junior Pipe Band for both overall band and best drum corps. Well done to them. On to grade 3 today, which was a March Strathspey and Reel competition. In third place, the Keith Highlanders grade 3 pipe band. Second place, Portland Metro pipe band. And first place goes to the Greyland Crossing pipe band. Best drum corps in grade 3, the Portland Metro pipe band. Up from Oregon. So the games aggregate for the whole weekend. The overall best band in grade 3 is the Greyland Crossing pipe band. And the overall best drum corps, the Portland Metro pipe band. Now grades 2 and 1, as we said earlier, only one band competing in each, but that was a real treat for us to hear both of them. All three performances indeed. And even although there's no one playing against these bands here, it's very important for them to get a run out in difficult conditions, as we have here today. It's always hard, as I was saying earlier in my commentary, to keep a pipe band in tune in these conditions, and to get a run out in competition conditions, being judged, going through everything in a formal sense is very important for these bands. But most of all for us, the audience, it's such a treat to hear them. So it's fantastic that they've been here today. First place, therefore, in grade 2, the Cascadia Pipe Band, and also the Drum Corps Prize, Best Drum Corps, also the Cascadia Pipe Band. And the games aggregate for both days, the Cascadia Pipe Band for both overall and for Best Drum Corps. Well done, guys. Lovely to hear you, sounding great. And as I said in my commentary earlier, wonderful today. What a treat to have one of the very finest pipe bands in the world here, to hear them at close quarters, the Simon Fraser University, to hear both their March Strathspey and Reel today and one of their medleys. So we'll go through the formalities. The March Strathspey and Reel, grade 1, first place, the Simon Fraser University Pipe Band, and Best Drum Corps, the Simon Fraser University Pipe Band. Likewise in the medley, the Simon Fraser University Pipe Band for both overall band and drum corps, and therefore the aggregate also goes to the Simon Fraser University for both band and drum corps. And many of these bands will be heading in just a few weeks' time across to Glasgow in Scotland to compete in the World Championships, and we wish all of you all the very best. Let's give them all a round of applause for their wonderful music here today. Now, we're going to have a special event here for just a moment or two, a musical event, because as many of you will know, these games and everything that used to happen at the Celtic Arts Foundation, which is many things throughout the year, but particularly gathering here once a year for the Skagit Valley Highland Games, it was all down largely to one man who's sadly no longer with us, Skye Reichendijfer, a great friend to many of us on both sides of the Atlantic, a man who once played actually with the Simon Fraser University back in the 1980s, I think it was. Skye did so much for the Celtic arts. It's hard to know where to start with everything he achieved, building the centre, building the organisation, building these games, and we're going to have a special musical tribute to him. Skye just passed far too young a couple of years ago, and Bruce Gandy, well-known piper, one of the world's finest pipers, composed a pibroch in memory of Skye. If you're not too familiar with some of these terms, pibroch is the traditional or classical music of the great Highland bagpipe. It involves a ground to start with, setting out the theme, and then you explore that theme with more and more variations, and then usually come back to the ground again. And Bruce composed a full and lovely Pibroch, we're going to get a performance of The Ground, so the basic theme of this tune now. And this is from the Grayland Crossing Pipers, and we'd like to invite them to come forward now to treat us to this piece of music put together by one of our adjudicators today, Shauna Hilder, who's worked with the band. And I'd like to say a very special welcome to Skye's wife, Sally Reichendeifer. Wonderful, thank you so much. A beautiful tribute to Skye of Mount Vernon. Thank you. And a special mention actually to the band we've just heard. They went across to the World Championships last year in Scotland, competed in grade 3A, and their drum corps finished the day as world champions in grade 3. Let's just give them a retrospective congratulations for that. One more piece of music, I think, while we're gathered here, just as a treat. Amazing Grace has become a standard piece of music here at this Games and in many others. And it's going to be led by the Cascadia Pipe Corps. And the rest of the mass bands will join in through the second time. Thank you. fantastic rendition led by the Cascadia Pipe Band and with all the other bands on duty here joining in with amazing grace. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just invite the mass bands to march off. But thanks so much for coming. All those of you who have been here through the afternoon, on both days in some cases, to take in the treat that is the pipe band competition. And we'll see you again next year. Pipe Major.
Mass band! Scott the Brave, Roundtree! Mass band! By the right! Quick!